Dear students, now we are going to discuss further questions of sample question paper mathematics. In the previous video, section A questions were discussed. Now we are going to discuss section B questions and their solutions. Let's begin. First question is, if sum of two numbers is 1215 and their HCF is 81, then the possible number of pairs of such numbers are. Now there are two numbers whose sum is 1215 and the HCF is 81. We have to find how many such numbers are possible, how many such pairs of numbers are possible which satisfy these two conditions. Now we know that the HCF of two numbers is 81. HCF means highest common factor. It means the two numbers have 81 as the highest factor. So we can take the two numbers as 81x and 81y. They have 81 as highest common factor. So x and y, they don't have any other common factor. Thus x and y are going to be co-prime numbers. Now we are given that the sum of the numbers is 1 to 15. So if we add them, we will get 1 to 15. Now we can take 81 common. So we will be left with x plus y into 81 equals to 1 to 15. And x plus y will be equals to 1 to 15 upon 81. Now if we divide this, we simplify this, we will get x plus y equals to 15. Now we need to think what are the possible values of x and y which gives us 15 as the answer, and we need to select only those values of x and y which are co-prime. Now suppose I take x as 1, then y must be 14, then only the sum will be 15. If I take x as 2, y should be 13. If I take x as 3, y will be 12. If we continue like this, we will get many such pairs. Okay, if I take x as 4, then y will be 11. Similarly, x5, y will be 10. Now I'll write this side. x6, y will be 9. x7, y will be 8. And if I take x8, then y will be 7. Then this is just a repetition of this, so we will not write this. Similarly, if we take x9, we will get y6. So we will get these pairs of numbers. So just the order is different, so we will stop here. Now we don't have to take all these pairs, only those we have to select which are co-prime, because we already know that the HCF is 81. So only those possible values of x and y we have to select from here which don't have any other common factor. Like 1 and 14 we can take, they are co-prime numbers. Similarly 2 and 13 can be taken. 3 and 12 has 3 as common factor, so we will not take this. 4 and 11 can be taken. 5 and 10 have 5 common factors, so we will not take this. Similarly 6 and 9, they have 3 as common factor. 7 and 8 can be taken. So in total we have these 4 pairs of numbers which are possible. 1, 14, 2, 13, 4, 11 and 7, 8. So how many possible pairs are there? 4 possible pairs are there. So let us see which is the correct option. So our answer is option C, that is 4 such pairs are possible. Next question is, given below is graph representing two linear equations by lines AB and CD. What is the area of triangle formed by these lines and line x equals to 0? We have a graph. Now we want to find area of this triangle formed by these two lines, this triangle ACD. So we have to find area of this graph and the line x equals to 0. So we want to find area of this line. X is 0 for on this line. If we see this line here, y has some values but x is 0, and these are the two lines. Now this triangle area we want to find. We should identify which line is x equals to 0. X equals to 0 is on y axis. Right, now let us find area of this triangle. We know area of triangle formula is half into base into height. Now for this triangle, this will be base and this will be height. Now let us find the length of this base. This base length is from here to here, it is 4 units, and down if we go it is 2 units. So base is 6 units and height is 2 units. So it will be half into 6 into 2. 2 will cancel. Area will be 6 square units. So option C is the correct option. Next question, question number 23. If tan alpha plus cot alpha is 2, then tan square alpha, tan raised to power 20 alpha plus cot power 20 alpha is what? So we know from trigonometry table that tan alpha, alpha means some angle, we know tan 45 degree is 1. Similarly, cot 45 degree is also 1. It means 1 plus 1, it will be 2 only if alpha is 45 degree. This is the only angle for which this equation will be satisfied. So angle is 45 degree. Let us put value 45 here. Now here if we take alpha 45, here also 45 degree. So we know tan 45 is 1. So it will become 1 raised to power 20 plus 1 raised to power 20. 1, any power of 1 will always give us 1. So it will become 1 plus 1, 2. So again answer will be 2. Option B. Now next question. Question number 24. If 217x plus 135y is 913. We are given these two equations. Now, whenever we get such equations, first we need to see that here we have 131 with y and here we have 131 with x. Here we have 217 with x, here 217 with y. So when we have same type of coefficients, then we need to always add the equations. So first equation is 217x plus 131y equals to 913. Second equation is 131x plus 217y equals to 827. So when we see that there are same type of coefficients, always we should add the equations to solve them. So when we add them, what do we get? We will get here 348x plus 348y equals to, if we solve this, we will be getting 1740. Now 348 can be taken common from here. So we will be getting x plus y equals to 1740 upon 348. Now if we simplify this, we will get x plus y equals to 5. So on cancelling this, we will get 5 here. So we are getting x plus y equals to 5 as an equation. Now they asked us what is x plus y. So our answer is 5. So we can go with option A. Next question. LCM of two prime numbers p and q is 221. Find the value of 3p minus q. Now there are two prime numbers whose LCM is 221. Now we need to think what can be the prime numbers whose product, LCM means product, because we know this formula that LCM into HCF equals to product of two numbers. Since the two numbers are prime, so their HCF will be 1. So this can be taken as 1. LCM is 221. So we will get 221 into 1 equals to product of numbers means PQ. So we are getting PQ equals to 221. Now we need to think of two prime numbers whose product is 221. Now you can do factorization method or any other method. So you should know which two prime numbers. You can try by multiplying different prime numbers. So we will get 17 and 13 as the two prime numbers whose product will be 221. As they have given in the question that P is greater than Q. So 17 will be value of P and 13 will be value of Q. Now we have to find value of 3p minus q. So we will put values in this. 3p minus q. 3 into 17 minus 13. 3 17s are 51 minus 13. So our answer will be 38. So we can go with option C. Option C is the correct answer. Option C. Now next question. A card is drawn from a well shuffled deck of cards. What is the probability that the card drawn is neither king nor queen? Now we know how many kings and how many queens are there in well shuffled deck of cards. 4 king and 4 queen. We don't want king or queen. Total cards are 52. From them we will subtract 8 cards of king and queen. So we will be left with 44 cards. Now we want to find the probability that the card which we take out should not be a king or queen. So there will be 44 cards left which are not king or queen. So probability will be 44 upon total cards are 52. We can simplify it. So we will be getting on simplifying 11 by 13. So option A is the correct option. Next question. Question number 27. Two fair dice are rolled simultaneously. Probability that 5 will come up at least once. When we are throwing two dice together, simultaneously means together, what is the probability that 5 should come up at least once? At least once means at least one time 5 must be there. It can be more than one time also. So let us write all those possible cases where 5 will come up. We can have 1, 5, 2, 5, 3, 5. I am writing only those cases where 5 is coming up at least once, or 5, 5, here 5 is coming 2 times, so we can include this also, and 6, 5. So these are the cases, and we can also have in different order 5, 1, 5, 2, 5, 3, 5, 4. 5, 5 already we have written, so we will not write again, and 5, 6. If we count all these, there are total 11 possible cases. So 11 are the cases when 5 will come up at least once, and total cases are 36. When we throw two dice together, there are total 36 possible cases. When we throw one dice, there are 6 cases, 2 dice, 36. So 11 are the favorable cases. So our answer will be option B, 11 by 36. Next question. If 1 plus sine square alpha equals to 3 sine alpha cos alpha, then the values of cot alpha. Now what should be the values of cot? Now we have 1 plus sine square alpha equals to 3. Now we know from identity sine square theta plus cos square theta equals to 1. So using this, we can replace this 1 by this. So we can rewrite this equation as 1 can be written as sine square alpha plus cos square alpha, plus we have sine square alpha also. This 1 I have replaced with this identity sine square alpha plus cos square alpha, and already one more sine square alpha is there. So this sine square alpha and this sine square alpha will get added up. So we will be getting 2 sine square alpha. We have equals to 3 sine alpha cos alpha, which will come on the left side, and it will become minus 3 sine alpha cos alpha equals to, now what will be left in the equals to 0. Now actually we have to use some logic or some method to solve this. Now this 3 sine alpha cos alpha can be written as, how can we rewrite it? We can rewrite it as minus 2 sine alpha cos alpha minus sine alpha cos alpha, right? So I am just erasing this and replacing it by this. So we can rewrite it as minus 2 sine alpha cos alpha minus sine alpha cos alpha equals to 0. Now we have got here 4 terms, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we will simplify them and make some factors. We will see what we can take common. From this and this, we can take 2 sine alpha common. So we will be left with sine alpha minus cos alpha in the bracket. Similarly, from this and this, we can take cos, we can take yes, we can take minus cos alpha, we will take common. Like we use splitting the middle term method and we make factors. Similarly, we have to do. Now from here I have taken minus cos alpha common. So in bracket we will be left with sine alpha. And here we have taken cos alpha and minus sine common. So one minus sine will come inside. Sine alpha minus cos alpha will be left. Now if we see that these two equations are same, so we can take them common. So what we will be left with? We will be getting, I am writing up here, we will get sine alpha minus cos alpha one time. This bracket I have written one time, and 2 sine alpha minus cos alpha in the second bracket equals to 0. Now we have got this. Now we have to find what will be the value of cot alpha. Now you see these two brackets product is 0. इन दोनों का प्रोडक्ट 0 है. The product is 0 if and only if either of these terms is 0. Either this should be 0 or this should be 0. If I take this term equals to 0, so I will get sine alpha minus cos alpha equals to 0, or sine alpha will be equals to cos alpha. Or if I take this sine alpha down, then I will get cos alpha upon sine alpha equals to 1. And we know that cos alpha upon sine alpha is cot alpha. Cot alpha will be 1. So this is the first value we will get. If we take this as 0, so we will get 2 sine alpha equals to cos alpha. Then we can take this sine alpha down. We will get 2 equals to cos alpha upon sine alpha. We know cos upon sine is cot. So cot alpha equals to 2. This is the second value. So we are getting two values of cot alpha, either 1 or 2. So there are two possible answers. So we can see the correct option now. In the options we are given what are the possible values of cot alpha that we can mark as 1 or 2. Option C. Next question. Vertices of parallelogram are in order this. So we can draw a parallelogram here, A, B, C, D. We will write in order. A's coordinates are 1, 2. B is 4, y. C is x, 6. D is 3, 5. Now we have to find xy. What will be xy? Now we know that the diagonals of parallelogram bisect each other. This will be the point where it will bisect, and this point is going to be the midpoint. So we will find coordinates of this point. So first we will find coordinates of this point from this diagonal AC. Then we will find its coordinates from BC. Coordinates are going to be same. Then we will equate them and we will find x and y. So first we will find coordinates of this midpoint from A and C coordinates. So coordinates of the midpoint will be, we know x1 plus x2 upon 2, that will be 1 plus x upon 2, comma 2 plus 6 upon 2. So if we simplify it, on simplifying this we will get 8 upon 2, that is 4. So we can write it as 1 plus x by 2. This cannot be simplified further, let it be this only, and this coordinate will be 4. And now we will find coordinates of midpoint from this diagonal BD. Here again x1 plus x2, 4 plus 3 by 2, that is 7 by 2, comma y plus 5 by 2. Now we can equate these two. 1 plus x by 2, we will put it equals to 7 by 2. 2 will cancel. X value will be 7 minus 1, that is 6. Similarly, we can equate 4 equals to y plus 5 by 2. 2 will come up. So y value we can find from here. It will be 3. So x and y will be 6, 3. So we can simplify it like this and we can find the correct answer. So our correct answer is option 29th. Option A is the correct answer because we have found x is 6 and y is 3. Now let's do next question. In the given figure, we are given angle ACB is equals to angle CDA. Now here we can see that there are two triangles. First I am drawing this triangle separately, ADC. Here we have this angle, and now bigger triangle I am highlighting it with blue, ABC. Here we have this angle. Let me show the same angles with red color. Now these two angles are same. It's given in the question. Also we can see that this angle A is common to both. So we can say triangle ADC is similar. This triangle ADC is similar to triangle. This triangle, how we will write its name? Since we are starting from blue angle ADC. Similarly, we will write its name will be ACB. So these two triangles are similar, ACB. If the two triangles are similar, we know that their corresponding sides are proportional. In question, we are given that AC is 8 cm, AD is 3 cm. So we can write here also AD 3. And we have to find BD. AC is 8, so we can write here also 8. We want to find this length BD. Now, if we take these two triangles similar, their corresponding sides are proportional. So, if I am taking this side 8 from the first triangle, 8 upon 8 is a side which is opposite to red angle. Here, opposite to red angle, we have a side AB. So, 8 upon AB we will write equals to, if I take side 3 which is formed by blue and red angle here, now which side we have here? 8. So on simplifying this, we can cross multiply here. So AB will be, we will be getting AB as 64 upon 3. Now we want to find length of BD. BD is this side. Now AB, we know full length, we will subtract AD from it and we will get BD. So BD will be, we want to find BD, it will be AB minus AD, that is 64 upon 3, 64 upon 3 minus 3. On simplifying this, we will be getting 55 upon 3. So the length of BD will be 55 upon 3, that is option C. Option C is the correct answer. Now let's do next question. Next question is the equation of perpendicular bisector of line segment joining points this and this. Now there is a line segment which join point A and B. Let us take A here, B here. Now we want to find the equation of perpendicular bisector. Now we know perpendicular bisector means a line which will be dividing it into two equal parts and it is making right angle. So isn't it going to be the midpoint? So a perpendicular bisector is meeting this line at the midpoint. We know point A coordinates are 4, 5. Point B coordinates are -2, 3. Let us find coordinates of midpoint. We know midpoint formula. Using that we can find coordinates of midpoint. x1 plus x2 by 2. So it will be 4 minus 2 by 2, that is 2 by 2, that is 1. So x coordinate will be 1. Similarly, we can find y coordinate. 5 plus 3 by 2, 8 by 2, that is 4. So these 1, 4 are the coordinates of midpoint. Now we want to find the equation which satisfy this. Now this point is passing through that equation. Now this value of coordinate we will put in various equations and find out which equation satisfies the solution. Now let's look at various options. We know the coordinates of midpoint. We have just calculated 1, 4. Now let us see which equation satisfies this value. If I put 1 and 4 here, it will not satisfy. You can try in different equation. If I put in D option, then x is 1, y is 4. So let us simplify it. We will get 3 plus 4, 7 minus 7 equals to 0. We are getting left side equals to right side. So this is the only equation which is satisfying the solution. So option D is correct. You can try with other options also. I am not showing here, but that they are not satisfying it, right? Let's do next question now. In figure, D is midpoint of BC. This is midpoint. We have to find value of cot y upon cot x. Now we know from trigonometric ratio table, cot is equals to base upon perpendicular. So when we look at this angle y, cot y, what is it equals to? Then base will be this AC upon perpendicular will be this BC. Now we look at this angle x, cot x. Cot x, if we find, we have base, cot x is only up to this. Base is AC and perpendicular is CD. So we will write AC upon CD. Now we have to divide, because we have to find cot y upon cot x. We have to divide these two. When we divide these two ratios, this will go up and get reciprocal. So it will become AC upon BC into, it will go up and multiply CD upon AC. AC will cancel. Answer will be CD upon BC. Now from figure we know that D is midpoint. So CD is half of it, half of BC. So CD ratio BC will be half, because CD is half the length of total length BC. So CD ratio BC will be half. So cot y upon cot x will become half. So option B is the correct answer. Next question. The smallest number by which 1 by 13 should be multiplied so that its decimal expansion terminates. Now we already know that terminating decimal expansion has denominator of the form 2 raised to power m, 5 raised to power n. It should have prime factors only 2 and 5. Now 1 by 13, it doesn't have 2 and 5. It has 13. First of all, we shouldn't have 13. Then only it will become terminating decimal. To remove 13, we should multiply in the numerator by 13. And in denominator, we can have any number which has 2 and 5 as the prime factors. Now in the options, if we see, we want 13 in the numerator. So these two options are already wrong. Now in these two options, you may be thinking that 10 is the small number, so we should multiply by 10. But the correct answer is 13 by 100. Why? Because 13 will cancel. If we simplify it, we get 0.01. Actually 13 by 100 is smaller than 13 by 10, because 13 by 100 is 0.13 and 13 by 10 is 1.3. So they asked smallest number. So smallest number is 13 by 100, which we should multiply with 1 by 13, because when we will multiply, 13 will cancel. We will be left with 1 by 100 and we will get a terminating decimal expansion like this. So our answer is option A. You have to check which out of these two is smallest. You can change fraction into decimal and then you can verify. So that's it. Next question. Question number 34. Sides AB and BE of right triangle are of length 16 and 8. The length of side of largest square that can be inscribed in this triangle is. Now you can see in this figure, they have inscribed a square inside a triangle. We have to find the length of this square, which is possible. Now see, here we see we have two triangles. One is this triangle, small triangle, and one is this big triangle. So I am drawing these two triangles separately. Small triangle we can draw AFD, and big triangle is ABE. This is again a question from similarity topic. Now AF we don't know. We know full length is 16. Let us take each side of square as x. So all these sides of square are equal. They will be x. So AB is 16. So AF will be 16 minus x. We can reduce this x. So AF will be 16 minus x. And then FD is x side of square. Similarly, we can see that AB is 16. It is already given, and BE is 8. Now, if we look at these two triangles, both are right angle triangle. This angle is 90 degree. Moreover, this angle is same. So, by AA similarity, these two triangles are similar. So, their corresponding sides will be proportional. So, if I take side this side from this triangle, then I will take this. So, 16 minus x upon 16 will be equals to, then we can take other sides x and 8 equals to x upon 8. Now we can simplify this. We can cancel it. 2 will go up. So 16 will be equals to 2x. This x will go other side, equals to 3x. So x will be 16 by 3. So what they asked us in the question, they asked what will be the length of square. So length of square we have taken x. So option you can see that x value we got 16 by 3. So our answer is option B, in which we are getting 16 by 3. This is the correct answer. Now next question. Point P divides line segment joining R and S in ratio K ratio 1. There is a point P which divides the line joining R and S in K ratio 1. If P lies on this line, then the value of K. Now understand this question. There is a line which joins R and S. Point R is minus 1, 3, S is 9, 8, and there is a point P, it may be anywhere, which divides this line in K ratio 1. Now, if this point P lies on this line, then what will be value of K? First of all, let us find the coordinates of this point P. Using section formula, we can find its coordinates. We know the section formula m1 x2 plus m2 x1 upon m1 plus m2. Using this, instead of m1 we have k and 1 here. So our formula will change little bit. Instead of m1 m2 we will write k and 1. So our formula will become k x2 plus 1 x1 upon k plus 1. Now we know x2 is we can see here x2 is 9 and x1 is minus 1. So putting these values here, x2 we can put 9 and x1 we can put minus 1. So we will be getting 9k minus 1 upon k plus 1. This will be x coordinate of this point, 9k minus 1 over k plus 1. Similarly, using section formula, we can find y coordinate of this point. For that, we will be using m1 y2. y2 is 8. So it will become 8k plus m2 y1. y1 is 3 plus 3 upon k plus 1. Now we got y coordinate as 8k plus 3 upon k plus 1. Now these are the two coordinates of the midpoint. Now we are given that this point lies on this equation. So this will be value of x coordinate, this will be value of y. Now these two values we will put in this equation and we will find value of k. Now let us put these values in the equation. Equation is given to us as x minus y plus 2 equals to 0. Instead of x, we will put this value 9k minus 1 upon k plus 1 minus y is 8k plus 3 upon k plus 1. In bracket, we will write plus 2 equals to 0. Now let us simplify this. On simplifying this, first we can take k plus 1 as LCM. we will be getting 9k plus 1 minus 8k minus 24 plus 2k plus 1 plus 2k plus 2. Let me rewrite. So if we take LCM, we will be getting k plus 1 as the LCM. In numerator, we will get 9k minus 1 minus 8k minus 24 plus 2k plus 2 equals to 0. Now this k plus 1 will go to the right side and will get eliminated. So we can simplify this. So we will, when we simplify this, 9k minus 8k will be 1k plus 2k will be 3k. 2 minus 1 is 1 minus 24. So we will be having minus 23 equals to 0. So we will be solving it. On solving it, we will get k value. So here we have minus 3. So on simplifying it, so here also we will be having minus 2. So on simplifying it, you will get k value as 2 by 3. So you can simplify it. Here space is less, so I am not able to show the solution properly. So you can just simplify it and you will be getting option A as the correct answer. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. For further questions, watch next video explaining questions 36 to 50. If you like this video, do share with others and subscribe the channel for more such videos. Thank you.